What's good, YouTube? We are back with another All 22 film breakdown, this time on Michigan cornerback Will Johnson. On the NFL website, Will Johnson is listed at an unofficial 6'2", 202 pounds. In this All 22 film breakdown, we're going to be finding out what Will Johnson does really well, what he excels at, some things that he needs to work on, or some of his weaknesses. And at the end, I'll give you my player outlook, where I think he should go, where I think he ranks in terms of the other cornerbacks in this class, and what's the best fit for him. Of course, as you know, if you like this video, go ahead and like it. Subscribe. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Be a friend, tell a friend, share this video out with others. And as for this film breakdown, let's get to it. All right, so here we go. First play out the gate. What really stands out to me with this clip from Will Johnson is his patience and technique in press coverage. So this wide receiver right here, he's going to do a lot of window dressing at the release point, and that's typically what a lot of wide receivers do. They want to set you up, get you to open your hips, so that way they can win on the route. Here, Will Johnson, he's just going to stay patient, not going to open the gate, and watch his footwork there. On his toes, ready, so that way when the receiver finally does make their move like they do here, he can be able to react to that, gets his hands on the wide receiver, looks for the ball, he's able to pick it off too. I mean, just a really impressive rep right here from Will Johnson. It's a lot of great reps from Will Johnson in off-man coverage, but this one sticks out because you get to see all of the traits you want from a cornerback in off-man, from a smooth backpedal. They don't open the gate too early, meaning they keep their hips and shoulders square in their back pedal, and they're able to make a quick reaction and play on the football. So right here, the wide receiver is going to be running a 10-yard out route, and you can just see that smooth back pedal, right? Keeps his hips and shoulders square, and then when the wide receiver is going to start getting into their break, you see that right quick within just one step, he's able to get out of that back pedal and make a play on this football, which is what he does. Which is what he does. Gets there a little bit early, but you know what? That's something that a coach can be able to look at the positives there and say, "Hey, we can coach this out of you in terms of getting to the football a little bit too early." When you draft a cornerback one, you want to draft a corner that has great patience in their technique and confidence. So right here, Will Johnson, he's having to guard two double moves or two moves in this route, and he's in perfect position for each and every single one of them. So it's going to be a deep comeback or a deep hitch by this wide receiver to the bottom. And as I mentioned, Will Johnson just going to have a smooth back pedal like he does, and I mean he typically does. There's the first move he's having to guard, then the second move, and he's just in great position for all of them. So we rewatch that again. There's the first one, still great position. Second one, even better position. I mean, that's just elite. Johnson's ability to read and react, whether that's in zone or off-man coverage, is second to none in this class. I mean, right here, he's not going to open the gate. He's just going to be in that smooth back pedal again, and then just be able to react. So he never lets the wide receiver close space. He's always being a step ahead of the wide receiver, and then to react, make a play on this football, and even an interception is, I mean, that's top-notch stuff. That's stuff you want from a lockdown corner. This play in particular is just, I mean, it's great instincts, great film study, or a combination of both by Will Johnson, because you see him do this a lot. He did it up against USC to make a play on the ball like that. So it shows you he has short area quickness, he has nailed down. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he does a really good three cone or a shuttle, because his recovery speed and short area quickness and the ability to make a play on the football with that speed and quickness is top notch. I wanted to add this play because it shows Will Johnson's hustle, his love of the game. So right here, as I play the clip, he's gonna make a touchdown saving tackle up against Ryan Winko, who's one of the fastest players, probably the fastest player on Texas's roster. See him get down to the 2 or the 1 yard line right there. That's just a great play and shows how much you love the game of football, which is very, very important. Right here on this play, it's just a phenomenal rep from Will Johnson in press coverage. He's going to be he's going to be reading the wide receiver and also at the same time reading the quarterback. His sense and spatial awareness of what the receiver is going to do and where they're at is pretty phenomenal. Then you combine that with his ball instincts, is be able to react and make a play on the football. It's all just right where you want it to be for a top five pick as we see with this play. He's just going to be reading the wide receiver, really never feels threatened, has really great patience. He's going to see them make a break now, reading their hips, and just to make a sensational play on the ball for a pick. Right here with this clip, you just get a sense of Will Johnson's IQ, um, his ability to break on the football, make a play on it, and just overall instincts. So right here, Minnesota, they're going to be running right here with this slot receiver. He's going to be on an out route, and this wide receiver is going to be on a go. So what they're trying to do is kind of flood out the coverage, make Will John. What they're trying to read Will Johnson, whatever he does here. If he takes the deep wide receiver, then they have the leverage for this out route with the wide receiver in the slot. But Will Johnson he's going to read the quarterback, make a play. As I mentioned in the previous video, his ability to make a break on the ball. You see him right here, eyes towards the quarterback, and his reactability. Ball's already ready being released, excuse me, and he's going to take it for six the other way. This is, again, another great rep by Will Johnson in off-man coverage. At his ability to stay square and have a smooth back pedal to make breaks on the ball, as I've all mentioned in this video, is the best in the class, I'd have to say at this point. You just see a smooth back pedal, never lets the receiver close any space, which is one of the receiver's goals before they make their break or their second move for second move routes and so on. And you know, gets out of his breaks very quickly, sometimes even runs the route for the wide receiver. In this clip, it's pretty impressive for Will Johnson. He's going to kind of run through a lot of traffic. This tight end that's right here on the line of scrimmage, he's kind of just trying to run a rub route for the slot wide receiver here to run on a underneath route or a crossing route. Will Johnson's going to navigate that traffic as we see here, navigates through the tight end. Now he's got to make a pretty difficult tackle in the open field, and he does just that. I mean, that's pretty similar to what you're going to see in the league with offensive coordinators trying to scheme up things to pick on you. This this clip right here. I'd mentioned earlier that that one clip we've seen previously was my favorite from Will Johnson. Well, this one rivals it and it puts up a good fight. It's just incredible technique from him right here. So he's gonna be it's a man coverage, but again, he's gonna be an off man. You see him, he's not lined up within 5 yards of the wide receiver or even three, so it's we have off man, right? And again, we see that smooth back pedal. He rarely ever opens up the gate too early. And I mean, just look at the distance between him and this wide receiver right here. To have the confidence in your technique and poise to know that I can be about 5 yards away from this wide receiver and not have to worry about it being an underneath route or like a comeback, a hitch right here. Pretty remarkable. And then it's a double move, but he doesn't let the wide receiver close that space. So even if he reacts a little bit late, he's still what I mean, I'm not no mathematician, but he's still a pretty good distance away from this wide receiver, right? Still in good position, and then he's able to flip his hips, get into the wide receiver's body, and make that throw not even close. I mean, that's stuff you see from cornerbacks that get into the Pro Bowl and eventually wear gold jackets. So here we see Will Johnson. He's going to be in press man. He gets a good jab on the wide receiver at the line of scrimmage to disrupt timing as I play this clip here. And, that's all impressive in and of itself. But what's even more impressive, and you see a lot from like the premier quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they get out of the pocket a lot. And so that means as a corner, you're having to guard your wide receiver or guard your zone a little bit longer than you feel comfortable for. And Will Johnson just does a tremendous job right here, staying attached to the wide receiver even for that long. Like I don't care if who you're guarding, if you're having to guard them for that long and you still make that play, uh, that's really impressive. And so that is a wrap for the film breakdown. And into the overview on Michigan cornerback Will Johnson, what I think he does very well and is going to translate into the league is he's got a really smooth back pedal. He stays true to his leverage and he's very stingy with it. Rarely do you see receivers they attack his leverage, but rarely do you see him give it up, right? He's got a really smooth transition out of that back pedal to make a play onto the football. His instincts are up there to be the best in the class and really some of the best that I've scouted previously from other cornerbacks in other classes. He's just a really exceptional football player. I think some things that are going to be knocks for him is what is he like in press man coverage and how is he going to fare up against these wide receiver ones, right? That could be something that potentially hinders his draft stock. And the biggest thing out there that I've seen a lot from draft media is how is he going to test at the combine? Like some people believe that his combine scores for the 40 is going to look like a 4.47 to maybe even a 4.5 somewhere right around that range. As for short area quickness, I think he's going to do really well in that. So like shuttle 3 cone, he's going to perform exceptionally well. Overall, though, I mean he's a very talented prospect. I think if I'm a general manager out there, I'm taking him in the top 5 and potential fits. I see the San Francisco 49ers and with Robert Saleh, they play a lot of zone, read and react, which is the traits that Will Johnson has at an A+ level right now. So I think the San Francisco 49ers, the New England Patriots, that's one that could be a really interesting fit with him and Christian Gonzalez alongside each other. You have two dominant cornerback ones, and if not corner, if Will Johnson doesn't pan out to be a cornerback one, I think at bare minimum he's a very high cornerback two. So that could be a very interesting fit as well. Then you talk about with the Chicago Bears. I know they need to go offensive line, but Jalen Johnson and Will Johnson, the two Johnsons out there, that would be something special. And even potentially Dallas, they could use some help on that defensive side of the ball as we saw this year. And yeah, as I said before, that's a wrap for this film breakdown. Appreciate those of y'all that are tuning in. Be a friend, tell a friend, share this video out to others. If you liked it, hit that like button. It means a lot to me. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. Appreciate y'all. Have a blessed day. And until next time,